Time check on Tobago updates is brought to you by Flow, Tobago's newest fiber network.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. This morning, we're joining you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We want to thank you all very much for watching us this morning. I am Kaylee Lewis, and before we introduce our surprise host this morning, I want to go over to our News in 90 Seconds lady. Good morning to you, Natalia.
Good morning, Kaylee. Good morning to our surprise guest who should not answer me until it's time. Lovely to join you this morning to bring your youthful vibe and vigor for your midweek Youth Wednesday.
Hey, wonderful. So we want to shout out all our viewers on Facebook, YouTube, and channel 102 on Amplia. Okay, I think it's time to let the cat out of the bag. I'm not very good at keeping surprises. So good morning to our surprise host this morning.
Good morning, Kaylee. Good morning, Natalia. And good morning, Tobago. And yes, I'm back like I never left. You know, I missed you all. I know you all missed me. Definitely. I felt the support all the way from school, the love, the encouragement. So good morning. And for those of you joining as you take your morning breakfast and even your morning meditation, and also those tuning in on the radio, thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. I am Luke Trim and I'm very excited to be here this morning. Guys, so what's been happening in this space thus far?
Well, we know earlier this morning we had a double murder in the Bonaccord area, and I think it's so concerning the amount of crime that we're having in Tobago of late.
Correct.
It makes us wonder what we're going to do about that safe tagline, clean.
Yes,
The
Tobago.
murder toll
Natalia, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the murder toll is rising way more than, well, more frequently, I should say, than in the past years. Because yes, just yesterday the murder toll was 11, now it's 13. And that happened in this less than 24 hours. It was very shocking to me, to be quite honest.
Yes, it's very shocking, and I'm concerned about the families. I'm sure at some point they were all preparing for Christmas. Now they'll have to be preparing for a funeral, and it's, you know, it's not the type of news anyone deserves to wake up to leading up to Christmas. But to all the citizens of Tobago, all of the people that we love, we're just urging you all to just be safe, just be careful, and try not to get yourself into things that will end up bad. So at this moment, we're going to head over to News in 90 Seconds with Natalia Nancis.
Thank you, Luke and Kaylee. Here is your news in 90 seconds. So Wednesday, 20th December 2023, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Police are hoping to charge a man in connection with the murder of 40-year-old Janelle Thomas Stowe sometime today. The suspect reported the incident to the Shervan Road Police Station early Tuesday morning and led them to Glen Eagles Drive in Mount Irving, where the burnt remains of Thomas Stowe were found. Police believe the mother of two was doused with flammable liquid after being killed. Her hands and feet were also bound by rope. It is believed that the murder resulted from a domestic dispute. Most of the debris has been cleared from the roads in Charlottesville after a heavy downpour brought down mud and trees from the hillside, causing damage to a few homes with flash floods. While most of Tobago remained relatively dry, around 3 p.m. on Tuesday, Charlottesville experienced over an hour of intense rainfall, turning streets into rushing rivers. The Tobago Emergency Management Agency is still assessing the damages. Nevertheless, a team of first responders and villagers collaborated to clear the streets and restore accessibility to the community. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine also visited Charlottesville during the cleanup efforts. While teachers in Trinidad received their back pay on Tuesday, teachers in Tobago will have to wait until December 31st for their payments to be processed. According to a release from the Division of Education, Research and Technology, funding the teachers' back pay was only delivered to the THA on Tuesday by the Ministry of Finance. Despite the delay in the release of funds, the division assured teachers that all efforts are being made for Tobago's teachers to receive their pay by December 31st. And that was your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
News in 90 seconds was brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prices, cause this season will be your nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price, the most giveaways, the most para. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring the sorrel with us to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on.
And we're back. Thank you, Natalia, for that wonderful read of the news. So we're going to head right over into our birthdays for this morning. Let's see who's born on the 20th of December. First up, we have Marlon Thomas. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Thomas. Coming from the Tobago Updates family. We really hope that you enjoy your day today. And I hope that you have 2 gifts. I know that a lot of people in December, they like to give them 1 gift for Christmas and birthday. To the family and friends of Marlon Thomas, he needs 2 presents.
And next on our list, we're sending out happy birthday to Mr. Leston Williams. A happy birthday to you, and I do hope you get your 2 gifts also, 1 for your birthday and 1 for Christmas Day. And that's it for our birthdays.
We have to give them the rundown.
Of course, we have to give them the
And I
rundown.
think you should do the honors this morning.
Yes, I will gladly do the honors this morning. So, viewers, we always have a fun-packed segment for you. So, starting us off, we'll be chatting with someone from TTPS about at-home Christmas safety practices. Next, we'll be joined by Mr. Rondell Moses as he's bringing the vibes on set. Lastly, we will be chatting with the Victorious Generation Christmas Village, and that is what we have packed for you today, guys. What are you looking forward to for Christmas?
Well, look, I always look forward to the food.
Yes.
That's my favorite part. So food, definitely ham. I must get ham. I must get sorrel. From our Christmas show last year, remember the pumpkin fritters?
Oh, yes.
I must get pumpkin fritters for Christmas.
Natalia?
In addition to what Kaylee just said, I hope I do get food, but I also hope that I get a separate Christmas gift for my birthday gift, to be quite honest.
Okay.
That much I hope for. How about you, Luke?
What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to rest. I think this is the first Christmas I didn't have to come home to no Christmas cleaning and all those stuff. So I hope that I hope that momentum keeps the same and my mom don't wait until the day before Christmas to iron curtains and all those stuff, because I would not be participating. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So viewers, up next we have the TTPS. We have TTPS or Rondell Moses. Is it going to be a surprise? Christmas is always about surprises. So up next
is the representative from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Okay.
And we are going to be talking about at-home safety practices for the Christmas season. So viewers, remember to stay tuned. We're going to be right back and
share the life, share the life, share the life.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Light up the Christmas with the best fiber. Serve 4 channels, switch to Amplia. Thousands in prizes, plenty smart TVs. 1 year free service and free groceries. We suffering with for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. This morning we're chatting with Inspector Mahalia Bacchus, and we're going to be talking about some safety tips for the Christmas season. Good morning to you, Ms. Bacchus, and how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you, and good morning to your listening public and to Tobago in general.
Okay, great. Before we get into the safety tips for the Christmas season, I want to know from your perspective as inspector in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, what is your take on all that has been happening very recently within the Tobago space?
Well, what I can say is that Tobago is still a very safe destination because we have hardworking police officers here who continue to carry out their duties with a lot of passion and dedication to what we are responsible for. So, yes, we may have challenges, but you will still find that the police officers are going to be out there, and we are going to do our best to treat with any reports, any criminal activities, or anything that comes our way. We will do our best to ensure that it is dealt with.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about exactly what you do within the police service.
Okay, so I am attached to the Criminal Investigations Department. As mentioned before, I am an inspector of police. So we have an office at Scarborough. We also have officers posted at the Chauvin Road Police Station, and we also have officers at the Crown Point Police Station. So the majority of the time, we are responsible for the serious reported crimes that come to the station districts. When I say serious reported crimes, we are talking about crimes like break-ins and larceny, malicious damage of a certain amount, that kind of thing. So we are the ones that treat with those very serious reports.
Okay, and coming out of a 100% safe carnival in October, we're going to hope that for the Christmas season, we have a very safe, fun, enjoyable time. Tell us about some of the crimes that are more likely to happen within the Christmas season.
All right, so when we look at the Christmas time, we know that it's a time when everybody is looking to spend a lot of money. So you have increased activities, especially within the city. And we have, the shopping areas like the malls. We have areas where in Crown Point and those areas where we have a lot of businesses offering goods for the Christmas that persons are interested in. So what we are advising persons to do is to be aware of your surroundings, especially when you are shopping. If you can do cashless transactions, that will be the best thing ever, instead of having raw cash on you, right? Because having cash on you is like a magnet. Right? Persons may observe that you're going into your bag and taking out large sums of monies to pay for items, and that could be a danger to yourself whilst you are shopping.
And I think that whole cashless thing within the Tobago space, it's something that we're probably trying to get towards, but it may be a little bit difficult, especially with the older folks. They may be afraid of the cashless thing, using your card, or we're not even so tech savvy, or we have our phones that we could use to pay. It's more so card or online transfers and that kind of thing. So I think that whole getting towards the cashless transactions, it may be a little bit difficult.
Yes, and we are in a different time where we have so many easier ways to get payments done, but persons are still wary of the technology. So we have where you could tap your card, but some persons are still not comfortable with tapping your card. But it is an easier way instead of having to put in your card and putting in your PIN, so somebody might observe it and all of that. Also, if you depend on the amount of your transaction, you may still have to enter your PIN, but it's still a safer way to pay. You understand? So when it comes to the homeowners as well, we are asking persons to be to reinforce, right? Become a hard target, reinforce your homes, reinforce your businesses. So something we look at is more locks, more lights, and more neighbors, right? We are looking at you, making sure that we are your brother's keeper. Look out for one another. Don't leave items lying around all careless, because there just might be somebody who is looking and seeing that you have your brush cutter, which is a hot item, for being stolen around the island of Tobago. If you just take it and you rest it in your garage, somebody might observe that it's there. And by the time you go to Scarborough and come back, it might be missing. So these are some of the things we're asking persons to put these items away. Lock away the items, your valuable stuff. If you have a shed, or you put them on the inside, use deadbolt locks instead of padlocks, because people walk around, could use a bolt cutter to easily cut your the padlocks and still enter your premises.
Okay. And we spoke about the homeowners, we spoke about persons, just going to do their regular day-to-day shopping. What about the business owners?
So, with the business owners, we are also asking them to be vigilant. We advise people to utilize CCTV cameras, which can be a helpful tool in our investigation. If something happens within your organization or your business, that we could look back at and probably identify who the perpetrator may be. And it makes our job a bit easier with the CCTV footage. One of the things you recognize, there are some people who still wear a mask. And there are some people who you can be very suspicious of having a mask on their face and entering your business place. So it might be important that if you have security, that your security is responsible for securing the business and not writing down names or writing down temperature and that kind of thing, because that can be distracting. Right? The security could be able to pay attention to who is coming into the business, who they are looking at, and probably ask persons to remove their masks, to have them identified so that the CCTV can pick them up when they are coming into your business place. So these are some of the things we say to them. Do not have large sums of cash on your compound. Most persons are compliant, and they will move them away from the business place. So there are lots of things that they can do themselves as well to become hard targets to the criminal elements.
Okay, and before we touch on some of the safety tips, very recently in social media, we saw a situation where police, they were removing some toys or some goods that persons had for sale on the streets. I assume that it probably was a no vending zone, and they had to remove all the items. And I don't think, and I'm not sure if the person was able to get it back. I'm not sure if you can shed some light on that situation, if you are aware of it, so that the viewers and the wider public would know what exactly the situation entailed.
Okay, so we do have that challenge with persons vending on the pavement, which is an offense, right? And from time to time, we try our best to get persons out of that way, because you as a regular pedestrian trying to use the roadway, it becomes difficult if everybody is on the pavement trying to vend. And then we have persons who are selling the market produce, and you ought not to be a certain distance within the market and selling the produce, right? They cater for a space for us in the market. So you ought to really go and try to get a stall within the marketplace to sell. So the offense is one that over the years we have been trying to deal with persons who vend on the roadway. But when it comes to the judicial aspect of it, sometimes people go to court and you get a tap on the wrist. So it's one of the things that we look at from law enforcement that needs to change, because you might, if you are found guilty, you might just have to pay like a $500 or $200 for vending, and persons may pay the money and just go right back to doing it. But we want to encourage persons to do the right thing. You go get your peddler's license, and you use a space that is not on the roadway. Find an area that you could probably pay a small rent or something, and you carry out your activity so that everyone could live.
Okay. And before we wrap up, you could just give the viewers some more information on what they can do as regular civilians, business owners, homeowners to protect themselves during the Christmas season?
So, as I mentioned before, the CCTV cameras is a very useful element. So, persons could invest in a good CCTV camera. And we also ask that you share one of those cameras with law enforcement. Because even having the cameras, sometimes people place them in positions that may not be helpful to themselves, nor even to an investigation when it comes down to it. Right? So, we're asking that you also light up your area. Have your floodlights around your business place, around your home, to ensure that you could see when persons are entering your space. Also, as I mentioned before, your use of the deadbolt locks instead of padlocks to secure your homes. You don't leave items lying around. One thing persons need to be mindful of, and persons are being caught with it, the online scams that are taking place, persons being sending monies for items, they're not receiving them, and large sums to boot. Seeing phones and so on being advertised and sending money in an account and then not receiving them. And at the end of it, you have to make a report to the police, and then you recognize that this person is not genuine, or this company that you are trying to acquire this item for is not a genuine company. So your money is gone, and then you have to carry out an investigation now to get back your money. So overall, we are asking persons to be mindful of your safety and for the safety of others, and to look out for one another, right? It's a time, the Christmas time is a season for giving and for sharing, but sometimes we get so caught up that we forget that we have to be safe, and look out for each other at the same time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Inspector Bacchus, for chatting with us this morning. Viewers, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs, carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
And we are back here on Tobago Updates Youth Wednesdays. We continue on our program this morning with two lovely young people here to talk to us about an upcoming event from the Victory Outreach Church. Right, this is a particular group by the name of Victorious Generation. With us we have this morning Deacon Adana Kombi, who is the youth advisory leader for this young and talented group, and we have Dominic Williams, who is a member of the group. Yes, so we go straight into it. So could you tell us a little bit about what Victorious Generation is and how was it founded?
Victorious Generation is the youth arm of the Victory Outreach Church, where we capture youths from as early as soon as you enter secondary school, all up to 25, right? And what we do really is help to build and to mold our youth to prepare them for the future. The group was founded many years ago because I too was a member of Victorious Generation. I came through the church arm and I too was a member, and now I'm a leader in the youth group. And so what we basically do, we try to give them the foundation knowledge of the Word of God, His love for us, and also to prepare them for the world at large.
All right. Okay, so what is the main purpose of this group, and what are some goals that are achieved by Victorious Generation or have been achieved by Victorious Generation over the years?
Victorious Generation's goals mainly encompass trying to bringing youths from around the community, or as I said, in the church. We mainly focus on bringing out hidden potentials hidden potentials in youths and making them greater.
Right, so lightly, if it is that I am really good at singing in the bathroom and I want to, bring out my talent all day, I can come to Victorious Generation. That's good to know, because guys, we have to talk. Right, so we are talking about an upcoming event that you all are having, right? It's called the Christmas Village. Is this an annual event? Did it happen last year?
Christmas Village is a new experimental event, as we are now starting to become an independent group and not rely on funds from the church itself. So yes, it's a new event. We will think about having it annually because we want to continue to build our funds, as I said before. So, yeah. All
right. So as this is a new event for this year, what can we expect?
You can expect a wide variety or a wide lineup of vendors set out, ranging from household supplies, food, even toys. And live entertainment starting from 5 p.m. We are additionally planning to reach out to members of the community and evangelize them, as it is the Christmas season. Yeah.
So it's not only for vendor purposes, but to evangelize as well.
Yes.
Finding the talents in that sphere as well.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Sounds very exciting.
Let me just add here, there's also, as you mentioned, the community outreach, where we speak to the people in the community. We also want to give out a food hamper to a family in the community who might be in need, because it's Christmas time and some of us have and some of us don't. So we want to meet the needs of those who might be, in a little bit of a need, a little bit of a bind. So we want to help them as well.
Okay, so you've mentioned the food hamper, right? Reaching out to the community. Do you have specific names in mind, or should we submit names to you?
Right, so we will kind of assess the community and we kind of know the status quo there. So we'll be able to identify somebody who we could give the hamper to.
All right then. All right. Lovely. So some details on the event, because we want to know where we should be, what date, what time. Well, I'll ask that question a little later on. So let's stick to the surface details for now. Where should we meet for this Victorious Generation event? What time and what date?
It will be held in the Victory Outreach parking lot. It will be set up with tents. It is this Thursday, which is the 20th.
Tomorrow, actually.
Well, tomorrow. The 21st. We will begin from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can come, bring your friends, bring your family, bring everyone you can.
So this is the Victory Outreach parking lot.
Yes,
that
which
we're
is in
coming to.
Sangster Hill, yes. In
Sangster
Sangster
Hill.
Hill, yes.
Okay. So you said 10 to 6 p.m. and this is happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow, correct.
Right. So for those of us who are working, we should gently walk
There's
away.
time. There's time. You have up till 6 o'clock, so please do not abandon your duties at work. However, we encourage the shopping. I mean, especially for people who want to get last minute stuff. As Dominic mentioned, there's a wide variety of items that will be available for sale. You have toys, you have even plants, books, items that you could use for gifting will be available for sale. Even sweets would be there as well. So, there's a wide variety. And also, if you want to be a vendor at the event, there's still space for you. You can contact any one of our committee members. I think the numbers are available. I think I set them in, but let me just verify that. And book your booth. $100. What you get with this $100 is that we provide the tent space. You have a table and a chair. So, you might be tired. You don't want to stand on your feet from 10 to 6.
Of course.
Right? So, and we set up the area. We decorate it nicely because it's Christmas time. And you bring your shoppers, encourage your regular clients and just spread the word so that we could have a nice day shopping.
Right. So I love how you brought in the vendors aspect of this thing, because I know you all have some protocols set in place for the vendors. They have to pay the $100. Yes. Is there any more information that the vendors should know, such as are they limited to bring certain items? Because you said there is a wide variety of items that will be sold, but are they limited to or shouldn't bring certain things, or are they allowed to bring anything? The old rug from the garage? I'm kidding.
As long as they don't bring, you could bring new items as long as it's nothing illegal or immoral. Remember, this is a church group, so we want to maintain that standard as well. Just basic items. We have regular vendors, even inside the church, people who bake cakes, people who sew. Even if it's a service you provide, you can still come and set up your booth. You can display stuff that you've sewn. You can take bookings if you're taking last minute bookings for your items and stuff like that. So these are the guidelines that we want to work with for this particular event.
All right. And just remind us of the main purpose of the Christmas Village again.
Primarily to raise funds for the youth department so that they can be more independent financially.
Okay. So this is a large group.
A growing group.
A growing group.
Yes.
How much I'm growing?
It is growing.
It's growing.
Yes.
You don't have any rough numbers?
No, not any rough numbers. It's just.
We're in the process of doing some reconstructing as well. So we want to relaunch again in January to get more subscription to the group so that we can continue to grow and expand. And even as we plan these fundraising events, we will have more support because we have a core team that is working together. So we're trying to encourage more of the youths from the church as well as the communities around Tobago to be a part of the youth department. So if you are in a church, or even if you're not, and you're a young person, I'm putting in a plug here, and you're a young person, you've started secondary school all the way up to 25, we want to invite you to come and be a part of Victorious Generation. We meet every other Friday at the Victory Outreach Church from 6 p.m. So you all are welcome. You are welcome to join us. We will welcome you with open arms, with the love of God.
Yes. So we tune our instruments, even our voices. Speaking to myself, I think I'm going to speak to the deacon afterwards. Right? So we encourage you all to come and participate in the Victorious Generation activities.
That's right.
Yes, and the first big event, the big event for this month tomorrow would be the Christmas Village.
That's right. Let me just give the contact numbers for those who want to vend. For vendors, you can contact Anaya Phillips on 469-1790 or Tiara Paulson on 799-3858. Right? So those are the numbers to contact if you want to have a booth set up at the Christmas Village.
All right. So before we finish off, 2 questions. One is the live. So you said live entertainment starts at 5 p.m. Yes. Any sneak peek as to who is performing? None whatsoever.
It's a secret. You have to come if you want to have that experience.
Guys, I promise you, I will not be there to sing, all right? I remain in the bathroom until Victorious Generation trains me to go, right? But they do promise to have a great lineup of entertainers for tomorrow afternoon, right? And for our viewers who may be joining us, just getting off the cup of coffee and waking up, could you just give them the details of the event again and where they can source the additional information if needs be?
Can visit us at at Victory Outreach Church parking lot, that is Sangster's Hill. We begin at 10 a.m. and we finish at 6 p.m. You can join at any time throughout the day. We have vendors set up. Items range from household items to toys or additional gifts, cakes, food, whatever you can think of. Well, not whatever you can think of, but what we provide.
Yeah.
So visit us. Make sure you can.
There's DJ music. Let me just put in, there's DJ music all day from 10 to 6. And of course, I forgot to mention that there'll be giveaways on every hour. There'll be a giveaway. So if you're a shopper and you're there within the hour when there's a giveaway segment, you might be lucky to win something.
If I shout your name from the audience, I just throw the gift to my
We'll see how it goes.
All right. And can they find the additional information anywhere, social media, etc., etc.?
Well, we could forward the flyers on our social media page, which will be our Victory Outreach Church page. We don't have our own page yet, so it will be the Victory Outreach Facebook page or the Instagram page as well. They will be able to find the information there. There's also a registration form for vendors if they want to participate in the event as well. And additionally, they can also call Anaya Phillips on 469-1790 or Tiara Paulson on 799-3858. They are both members of the Victorious Generation Youth Group.
All right, and seeing that Miss Adana was here on Tobago Youth Updates, Tobago Updates, we'll add that information onto our Facebook page so that we can have it accessible to the public. All right, so thank you so much, Deacon Adana Combi and Mr. Dominic Williams from Victorious Generation for being with us here this morning. Right, and for our viewers, we ask you to stay tuned and share the live. We continue on with a new drink on the market. Stay tuned to hear more.
Victorious Generation presents VG's Christmas Village, a fundraiser event on Thursday, December 25th, 2023 at the VOC parking lot from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There'll be giveaways, feature attractions, food, and live entertainment from 5 p.m. And victorious vendors, we've not forgotten about you. Vendor's fee is only $100. So you with the nice black cake, and you with the nice bedspreads, and you, Mr. Painter, come sell out your things at VG's Christmas Village on Thursday, December 21st. We're looking out for you. For more information, contact Deacon Adana or Amir.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Antimacal Group.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prices, cause this season will be your nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most para. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring the sorrow levitos to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Tobago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on.
The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development has relocated its Crown Point office to Glen Road in Scarborough to better serve you, our clients. Our main office is located at the corner of Glen Road and Glen Road Branch Number 1, the building formerly occupied by Coastal. Our grant and electrical inspectorate services can be accessed at Number 2 Montessori Drive in Glen Road, Building 1 and 2.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Begonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Youth Wednesday morning show. Now, black cake, ham, pastel, and that freshly baked homemade bread are a few of the many dishes that make up your Christmas table. If you are keen on celebrating Christmas this year, adding a classic punch to your menu will give you that jolly holiday feeling. Bringing the vibes on set this morning to tell us a bit more about that festive edition is none other than Mr. Rondell Moses. A special morning to you, and how are you doing?
Hi, good morning, Mr. Trim. I am fine this morning.
Okay, nice. So I'm looking at the packaging here and I'm seeing "We Bring the Vibes." Tell us a bit more about that slogan.
All right, so that slogan came from the first few instances that I made rum punch. Take it to events. Well, let me get into before the rum punch. I actually have a business, a bar, service, and catering business. So being booked for events, I started to make the rum punch, and everyone that had the rum punch always came back. Rondell or Fox, that punch is a vibes. So in deciding to start to bottle my rum punch, I tried to come up with a unique slogan, right? And after like 2 to 3 weeks battling with ideas, it just hit home. Just go with what people usually say is a vibes. So once you see this, you don't know the vibes start. The vibes is here.
All right, I love that slogan. And rum punch, is it something that you have always had like a favoritism for? Like you always love rum punch?
No, you know.
Okay.
No, you know, this, the rum punch, as I say, I just decided to go into it based on persons pushing me, persons commenting on it, and the support was overwhelming, and I said, nah, but you're onto something here. And then I had a partner, William, from Lambo, he started to push me. He said, boy, why you not bottling this thing? You're crazy. This is a hit. This is a hit. And the more persons tasted the rum punch, is so I build the confidence to actually start to bottle it and so on.
Okay, lovely. And you know, rum punches play such an integral part in social settings. When you go to a party, a games night, even a baby shower, you always have that little rum punch there in the corner. So what are some of the flavors that you have available?
Right, well, so far, I only have it in fruit punch, but I'm trying to focus on one thing at a time. I'm trying to push this. I want to get it out into the supermarkets and so on. And then I deal with other flavors. I do have other flavors coming, but I want to focus on one thing at a time and not be bombarded trying to do 2, 3 different things and get distracted.
Okay, understood. And it's interesting you made mention of a bar service, because when people hear a bar, they will think about this stationary location where you can go and sit down and build a vibe. But your bar service sounds a bit mobile. Tell us a bit more about that.
Right, so you are on the ball with that as well. Because when I tell persons I have a bar service, the first question out their mouth is, where are you located? And I have to tell them, no, it's not a stationary bar. You have an event, you have birthday party, weddings, corporate events. We come to you and we set up and we execute, right? It's a professional bar service as well. Beside birthday parties, weddings, corporate events, recently I have been called out to do harvest and so on.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah, so the business is growing and I'm experiencing new fields as well in this business.
Lovely, lovely. And when you look at the rum punch and, you know, just the whole layout of it, what are some of the feedback you get from people, not your friends, like just the average person when they taste it? Because I'm about to taste it, so I want to know what I'm getting myself into. What are some of the reactions you get from the rum punch?
Majority of persons is a hit. Recently, I got feedback from 2 past co-workers of mine. They said it's a bit strong for them. So I realized I may have to make a batch with a little less alcohol content for females. It is not strong, right? But some females, they want to try a little alcohol, but they don't want to be intoxicated. Right? But majority of persons, it's a hit. It's a classic. The recipe, everything, it's on point.
Well, I'm glad that you are catering for the females, because we know that we do have the females that want to partake in alcohol, but you know, they will more buy the things like the Caribbean and the Rude Boy and so on, to still get that hint of the alcohol, but not too much. So viewers, at this moment, I'm about to taste the Vibes Punch, so let's get into it. I know that my co-workers here at Tobago Updates, they're excited to taste it also, but I gotta go first. This is really good.
And
it's smooth. It's smooth. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Definitely.
It's really good, really good. It's smooth.
But I must say to you, although it's smooth, it's a creeper. And that is what stands out about this rum punch. It's by your second glass, and you stand up, you'll feel the effects of the rum punch. So it's not a drink that you rush.
Oh.
As you said, you are in a social setting. You sit, you socialize, and you take your time and sip. If you rush it, you don't know.
I wish I got that tidbit a bit earlier, but it's viewers, it tastes. The flavors explode in your mouth, and it goes down smooth. It's not like when you're drinking like a punch and you had to force yourself to swallow it. It goes down well. The flavors are there. It's balanced. It's not like one thing overpowering the other. So it's a really good drink. Now, in terms of contact information, how can people reach out to you to purchase your goods and also book you to cater for your bar service?
Right. So my contact number is 491-4768. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at President's Choice Bars.
Okay, great. And what about cost? How much does the rum punch cost and your bar service on average?
Right. These rum punch go for $150 a bottle. Right. These are the only sizes I have available, but I intend to do some resizing and make it a bit more cost effective. Maybe $100 bottles and so on. That should be ready by the end of this week. The bar services, the prices vary depending on what you want.
Okay, understood.
Right? Some persons prefer to buy their stocks and we just come and execute. Some persons prefer to do nothing at all. We purchase everything, come set up, and it depends on what you want.
Okay,
right? So I can't give a average cost.
Okay, that's understandable.
Might be cheap, it might be expensive.
Great.
It depends on the quality of service that you are requesting.
And soon we will be coming out of the Christmas service and heading right back into the party vibes. And I know sometimes at these events you will see the rum punch in pouches. So can we expect to see the vibe sponge in those coolers?
Yes. I am working on that at present. I have not been able to access the size of pouch that I'm looking for. So that's the keep back with that.
Okay, great.
But I'm working on it.
And
hopefully for the carnival season, you should see me in the fets as well.
Okay, now earlier you would have mentioned a friend from Lambo that would have pushed you to bottle the product. Anyone else you would like to thank at this moment who would have assisted you on this journey?
On my journey, not just with the rum punch, but with my bar services. Persons that were very integral beside William, John, Brandsman John, everybody know Ronaldo John, at Mount Pleasant, Abini Taylor, and of course my girlfriend, Crystal Maharaj.
Okay, great.
Right? Those are the persons that always push me. I must say thanks as well to Dwight, my brethren Dwight. He, from day one, with the rum punch as well, he said, yeah, Toppy, this is it. You understand? He supported me building back counters for the business. Sometimes we are called out today with me, so I must say thanks to him as well.
Okay, great. And just to wrap up a bit, tell our viewers why the Vibe Sponge and why your bar service is the one to book. Just sell yourself in about a minute and less.
The Vibe Sponge, you need alcohol. You're having an event, you say you want something just to relax you, just to give you a buzz, as you say, right? The Vibe Sponge is it, no questions asked. Concerning my bar services, our name speaks for itself. President's Choice. When you hear the word president, you think of top tier, right? Our name speaks for itself. Our standard, we have set one of the highest standards in this industry. Viewers can visit our Facebook pages, our Instagram pages, and the pictures, the stories, the videos can speak for itself.
Okay, nice.
Very reliable and cost-effective bar service.
Right, so Mr. Moses, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Youth Wednesday show. You know, the Vibe Sponge Vibes, it was present.
Yes.
You know, the taste is still there in my mouth. This is really flavorful. So viewers, that was Vibe Sponge. For all of you who want to reach out to Mr. Moses, you know, he gave us the contact, he gave us the social media platforms. So feel free to reach out to him. And thank you for tuning into this segment. But we are not done yet. Just remember to share the live, and we'll be right back.
our legislative history, I enter a gallery of exquisite beauty filled with portraits of legislative history, heritage curated masterfully by prominent propagators of Tobago's democracy, riches of the earth, borderless seas, and the assimilation of needs, framed magnificently to display what defines the Tobagonian and who we aspire to be. The meaning of democracy, it lives in the arms of the young, the feet of the men, and the minds of the women who participate with passion in our evolving society. Passion and deliberate audacity to see change where there is only adversity. My heritage lives in each breath I take when I march for justice at a rally, for the rights of the disabled, for awareness of cancers and lifestyle diseases, for better roads, education system, internal self-government, financial literacy, transparency, and my prayers for God's guidance, because even when we don't find trouble, trouble go find we. Yes, my heritage thrives in those leaders who seek to raise our consciousness in the obedient child, in the teenager driven with passion for life, and the young adult who is brave enough to search for success her way, not held down by doubt or neutered by patriarchal pressure about her identity. When I walk through the halls of this gallery filled with such riches, I am in awe that the people who raised me gave me these things and asked me to take care of them until it is my turn to pass them on. Today we pass on those riches through a series of events that mark December 4th as the day the seat of democracy returned to Tobago. It was the day the Tobago House of Assembly was inaugurated in 1980. The official celebration started in 2010 through a motion in the Assembly legislature by the then Chief Secretary Orville London. At the time, it was called Assembly Day. 5 years later, it was renamed Tobago Day in a motion laid by Leader of Assembly Business Claudia Groom-Duke.
Tobago Day is about drumming up patriotism and a call to duty for all of our people. And so, on this, the 43rd year of the modern Tobago House of Assembly, we have cause to celebrate and to reflect. This, our 43 year in existence of the modern THA, we have an opportunity to tell the rest of this country and to tell the world that Trinidad and Tobago is not just Trini, but there is a Bago component that is equally rich and riveting and has stories to be told. This is a moment for us to pause and tell our stories and to share the stories of the elderly and the people that we love all around us. This is a moment for us to reflect on how the next generation will become even more patriotic, even more Tobago nationalistic than my generation. This is why Tobago Day is important. And for me, celebrating our independence is important, and I'm happy to put on my red, black, and white to celebrate independence every year. But for me, as a Tobagonian, December 4th is equally or even more important than that. I wish to officially declare Tobago Day celebrations 2023 officially open, and we look forward to a great month of December. But more than that, we look forward to all of the roll-on activities post December 4th that will continuously remind us of who we are and the fact that we ought to be quite comfortable, quite celebratory in the castles of our own Tobago skin.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Time check on Tobago updates is brought to you by Flow. Tobago's newest fiber network.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video call, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile. And we get things started off with news that there is a double murder in Tobago that was recorded earlier this morning. And while information is still coming in, please stay tuned to this evening's newscast at 6:30 for the full details. But in the meantime, police are hoping to charge a man in connection with the murder of 40-year-old Reginald Thomas Stowe sometime today. The suspect reported the incident to the Sherburne Road Police Station early Tuesday morning and led them to Glen Eagles Drive in Mount Irvin, where the burnt remains of Thomas Stowe were found. Police believe the mother of two was doused with flammable liquid after being killed. Her hands and feet were also bound by rope. It is believed that the murder resulted from a domestic dispute. And then moving on, most of the debris has been cleared from the roads in Charlottesville after a heavy downpour brought down mud and trees from the hillsides and causing damage to a few homes with flash floods. While most of Tobago remained relatively dry around 3 p.m. on Tuesday, Charlottesville experienced over an hour of intense rainfall, turning the streets into rushing rivers. The Tobago Emergency Management Agency is still assessing the damages. Nevertheless, a team of first responders and villagers collaborated to clear the streets and restore accessibility to the community. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine also visited Charlottesville during the cleanup efforts. And finally, while teachers in Trinidad received their back pay on Tuesday, teachers in Tobago will have to wait until December 31st for their payments to be processed. According to a release from the Division of Education, Research and Technology, funding for the teachers' back pay was only delivered to the THA on Tuesday by the Ministry of Finance. Despite the delay in the release of funds, the division assured teachers that all efforts are being made for Tobago's teachers to receive their pay by December 31st. And that was the news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
News in 90 seconds was brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prizes, cause this season will be the nice day. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most para. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring the sorrel with us to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on.
All right, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we have a jam-packed hour for you this morning because we are being joined by former head of the public service, Mr. Reginald Dumas. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Dumas.
Morning. Thank you. How are you?
I am quite well this morning. Now, we've got quite a lot happening within our space, and especially when it comes to our region, the Caribbean region. Our Caribbean region has been in the news quite a lot recently, and I am, of course, speaking to the whole Guyana-Venezuela border conflict that's happening at this point in time. And of course, Mr. Dumas, you are someone with a wealth of experience in dealing with diplomatic issues and so on from your time working in the public service and so on. So I just want to get your take on just, first of all, what are your views on what's happening right now between Guyana and Venezuela, and especially in relation to the declaration of Argyle that was signed earlier just last week?
Last week, yes. Well, you know the background. I mean, Mr. Maduro suddenly announced that it's a long-standing thing that
Yes.
2/3 of Guyana, as far as successive Venezuelan governments are concerned, 2/3 of Guyana belongs to Venezuela. It's been going on for quite a while now. There's nothing new in that. The question is, why did it arise again right at this moment? People have various pieces of speculation as to why this happened. They say it was because an election was coming up in Venezuela and he wanted to get the people of Venezuela solidly behind him. Others say it's because of the oil that is being exploited now in the Essequibo. And remember, Venezuela has the largest oil deposits in the world.
In the world,
In
yes.
the world, larger than Saudi Arabia. But whatever it is, it's only Mr. Maduro and his close allies can answer that question with any degree of confidence and truth. But we've had this problem, and the threats that have been made by Venezuela, by Maduro, referendum on the 3rd of December, saying that he wants to get the people of Venezuela behind the government, etc. The argument by Guyana that the referendum is not legal, etc., etc. It's not in conformity with international law because it seeks to ask people about taking over part of a neighboring country, and that you cannot do or should not do. Although Putin has done it in Ukraine, but taking over Crimea, which he did several years ago, and he hasn't handed it back yet. So we have all this, and the thing wasn't looking good. Venezuela, if it came to a shooting war, and one hopes that this will not happen, Venezuela has the troops and the equipment to deal with Guyana very quickly. Guyana knows that and has been speaking to what she quietly calls her allies, basically the United States and Britain, and I think France as well, and maybe Canada too, I don't know, in the context of defense, in case Maduro moves in. Well, Maduro hasn't moved in. He's made a lot of statements. The referendum was held. He said that 90-something% of the people agreed with the government. It was interesting, though, if I may pause a bit on the referendum, because officially, the Venezuelan government said that only about 50% of the registered voters actually voted.
Yes.
Which suggests to me that no more than about 30% voted, because they would have inflated the figure. If you get 95% of 30%, I'm not impressed. Especially when you have people there as well, because people saw a lot of empty polling stations. Only the officials were there. No one was voting. There were no voters, etc. So this led to Argyle and the role of Ralph Gonsalves, who at the moment is the interim chairman of the group called CELAC, which is the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. And the meeting was held in Argyle last Thursday, as you know. What I think was important about what came out of the meeting, the declaration, was really two things, to my mind. One, that the two sides, that is Guyana and Venezuela, said that they would not resort to force or the threat of force. Well, Guyana has no force ready, but, you know. But the point is that they both said that this would not happen. And the second thing was that they agreed to talk in the future. Whether they talk under the auspices of Brazil or anyone else, they're supposed to set up a joint group to continue the conversations. They're supposed to meet in 3 months' time or some other period, depending on what they agree, but they have it at 3 months to talk about things and so on. Now, I don't know what is going to come of all these talks, because Guyana's position is very clear. This land belongs, this Essequibo belongs to Guyana. If we are to change that position, then it has to be following a decision of the International Court of Justice. Venezuela, on the other hand, says the land belongs to Venezuela, and we don't recognize the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice. So there's still the possibility of a shooting war. I hope it doesn't come to that. Frankly, I don't think it will, in spite of all that Maduro has said, giving the people who are there, the concessionaires, now 3 months to get out, and so on, etc. ExxonMobil, by the way, has already said, go where? I mean, we're not going anywhere.
ExxonMobil said that they're going to stay.
Yeah.
So, but I want to get to your perspective on something as well. So in 1966, there was another arbitration that happened around that time. What can you tell us, like, what about the atmosphere at that time when that decision was made to, enforce, be like, this is the boundary of Guyana, Essequibo region?
Well, it wasn't quite as clear-cut as that. You had the 18, you have to go back. No,
right.
So
to the first one with British Guyana and so on.
That's right, and the discussions that were held then. Now, Venezuela was represented in those talks by the United States. And what Venezuela alleges, without producing any particular evidence, is that the United States and Britain, because it was British Guyana, of course, at the time, conspired quietly to give all this land to Britain. As I say, it was British Guyana. Guyana was not independent. And so that has tainted everything. Now, they had the meeting in 1966. It was Britain again, Venezuela, and Guyana was there because the agreement is signed by the late president of Guyana, Forbes Burnham. And the agreement was not that they didn't decide who owned what or what should be on whose side. What they decided was that they would talk again. And you notice that in the Argyle Declaration, the 1966 thing is mentioned because Venezuela is insisting on that 1966 agreement, saying the agreement said we had to talk again, and Guyana is refusing to talk. So we have to talk. So that the Argyle thing would have, in a way, helped Maduro by saying, okay, here we are, we're talking. After all the fuss on the part of Guyana saying that we don't want to talk, there's nothing to talk about. So we'll see, but the situation still remains dicey.
Yes.
Because we do not know what Maduro and what the Venezuelan government is going to do. The day before the Argyle meeting last week, they met on Thursday, and this was on Wednesday last week, a week ago. The Venezuelan government put to the Venezuelan parliament a budget which included money for the administration of the Essequibo region. And then Maduro, having done that, goes off to St. Vincent for the meeting the following day. So they haven't given up. They know, of course, that if they start moving into the Essequibo, the Americans would react. You have an American company, ExxonMobil is operating there. ExxonMobil already said they're not going anywhere, and they would not have said that unless they had the say-so of the United States government. Maduro knows perfectly well that in a shooting war between Venezuela and the United States, that's the end of Venezuela. I mean, it's the United States will lick them up. And since Venezuela is not entirely popular already in Washington, there might be some people in Washington itching to go to deal with Maduro. So he's in a strange situation, and I want to see what he's going to do.
But as a Caribbean, especially as CARICOM, what do you think about just the stance that we took in terms of bringing the two men to the table, the two countries in essence to the table, and seeing if we can have that mediation and get to some kind of resolve to prevent a possible war right in our backyard?
Well, it's always best to talk, because that postpones the possibility of conflict. So it's always best to talk. Mind you, they've been talking for a long time. They still haven't arrived at any conclusion. 1899 and 1966, we're now virtually in 2024, and they haven't arrived at any conclusion. But CARICOM supports Guyana. Trinidad and Tobago is part of CARICOM. Therefore, Trinidad and Tobago, in line with the CARICOM position, supports Guyana. Venezuela is there. Ralph Gonzalez, as head of the interim head of CELAC, and as CARICOM Prime Minister himself, has played not a mediating role, because there's no mediator. He has played a facilitating role in bringing the sides together. There is no mediator. I heard people here talk about why doesn't Rowley act as mediator. That is a nonsense argument, because if Rowley as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is part of CARICOM, that means that CARICOM is on this side and Venezuela on that side. You cannot have someone if you have a dispute, from one party of the dispute mediating. That is a nonsense. You have to bring someone in from outside. So, and hence Gonzalez is very clear. He's CARICOM too. He's not mediating, he's facilitating a meeting between the two, which he did, and talks will continue, which would continue to involve Gonzalez and Skerrit, who is the current chairman of CARICOM from Dominica, and the Brazilians.
So, are you hopeful at all that these meetings would amount to anything, especially with, some of the messaging that we're seeing coming out of Venezuela?
I am not. One must always live in hope, but one also has to be realistic. Mm-hmm. If this thing has been going on since 1899, and we are now in 2024, and there has been no solution yet, I cannot be optimistic that it will be resolved in another few years. All I can hope is that there will not be a shooting war, that the current situation of a standoff will continue, but I don't know, because Maduro has his political pressures in Venezuela. He's not extremely popular, obviously. You see the number of people who have left Venezuela, including to come to Tobago, yes. Because the number of Venezuelans here in Tobago, but mostly heading for the United States. In the millions, they go to Colombia, they go to Brazil, etc., etc. They go through the Central American jungles by foot, in order to get to the United States, putting Biden under pressure, because the Republicans are now saying there are too many of them coming in. And Mr. Trump used, if I may say so as an aside, used the most unfortunate phrase just a day or so ago when he says they're coming in and poisoning our blood. All these immigrants coming from Africa and Latin America and so on. In other words, the purity. This is Hitler talking, eh? The purity of our blood. And you know what that means.
Certainly. But I mean, just before we get to the break, want to get to this point of, because Venezuela is not recognizing the ICJ, and we know that, I mean, the majority of countries in the world depend on the ICJ to settle these matters. If the ICJ cannot be that authoritative body, if Venezuela is not going to recognize them, then who should we depend on? Who should we look to for that mediating body? I don't know if it's, who should make the judgment.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem. Guyana says that she will abide by whatever the ICJ says. So with Maduro, if the ICJ comes out on the side of Venezuela, with all his talk now. And he actually sent his vice president to earlier this month when they had the period before when Guyana went to the ICJ on the question of the referendum. And then boasted afterwards that the ICJ did not say that we should not have the referendum. So in a way, he's still recognizing the ICJ without actually saying so. So if the ICJ comes down on the side of Venezuela, on the side of Maduro, Maduro will say, how great is the ICJ? Look, they came down on our side. They have vindicated us. Why the ICJ is taking all this long, I don't know. Because it's been going on for years now. And they haven't been able to come up with a solution, any position, any firm judgment yet. I don't know. It's up in the air. We don't know what Maduro is going to do. We have absolutely no idea. If they're not going to resort to force or the threat of force, according to the Argyle Agreement, the declaration, then fine. But that does not mean that the problems will not continue. Obviously, the instruction, quote unquote, that Maduro has given to the oil companies to get out within 3 months is nonsense. I mean, they're not going to take him on. And there are two other factors that I don't see mentioned in the newspapers or in the press. The first is that I have not seen a single ally of Venezuela come out in public support of Venezuela. Not Cuba, not Nicaragua, not Russia, not Iran, not one. Not one has come out to say Venezuela is correct. Not one. And you wonder about that, and if this hasn't had an impact on the Venezuelan thinking, because when you look around and your allies aren't there, what do you do? Whereas, with the case of Guyana, the Commonwealth has come out in support of Guyana, the OAS has come out in support of Guyana, CARICOM, of course. Canada has come out in support of the United States has come out in support of Guyana. Who are Maduro's allies in this battle? And the second thing is that has struck me is that one of the companies, the oil companies prospecting in the Essequibo at the moment, is Chinese.
Yes.
If you tell the Chinese company to get out, you tell the American company to get out, you're brave, because you are now confronting two of the most powerful countries in the world, the United States and China. You have to be brave.
Certainly interesting times. And, just before we go for the break, what should be our position now? Because, there's a lot of people questioning about our exploits of the Dragon gas field, our continuation with, this MOU with Venezuela to use those resources and so on, while this whole conflict is happening with Guyana. As CARICOM, as members of CARICOM, we stand with Guyana, but we're also, as Trinidad and Tobago, working with Venezuela. Doesn't that put us in a compromising position?
Yes, we do have a difficulty. I know that certain members of the government have sought to dismiss this and say, well, don't see any connection between the two. Of course there's a connection. If we're on the side of CARICOM, Trinidad and Tobago, as we are, and this means that we're on the side of Guyana, Venezuela can say, if you're supporting Guyana against us, why should we allow you to take any gas from our field? Why? So we have a difficulty. I mean, it's something you have to balance. I don't know how good a negotiator Mr. Stuart Young is. I have absolutely no idea. He seems to be doing okay, but I mean, it's however good you might be, when you run up against certain realities, your brilliance may not mean anything too much. So that Maduro could say, okay, we can continue to talk about the Dragon Field. You can keep coming down to Caracas and meeting us and chatting with Delcy Rodriguez or whoever and the people in PDVSA, in the oil company there, the energy company. But it will take time to reach a final position. And just spin it out without saying, no, you can't come.
And you think that's what's happening right now?
I don't know. We'll have to see. This is a question you should ask me in say 3 months' time.
Certainly.
We'll have to see. Because we're not, we being the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we're not given the details of the discussions. No. They will say, okay, you can't go talking about what is happening, etc., because you don't want to affect the flow of the discussions, etc. And that's fair enough, I understand that. So we are not familiar with what is happening. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We know that there are discussions. Where the discussions have reached, what they're discussing, etc., we don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's something I think we should keep in mind, that the possibility exists that the Venezuelans could simply drag things out without actually saying no to us. Just drag things out and leave us sort of dangling in the air.
Certainly some interesting times, but we're not quite done with Mr. Dumas. We got to go for a quick break, but we'll be back as we discuss some of the things that are happening within our national space. Don't go anywhere.
Begonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Light up the Christmas with the best fiber. Serve 4 channels, switch to Amplia. Thousands in prizes, plenty smart TVs. 1 year free service and free groceries. We suffering with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We binging with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. Sign up now for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. Never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection. Now exclusively available at Standard.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Because I'm continuing my conversations this morning with the former head of the public service, and that is Mr. Reginald Dumas. So we are switching gears now away from the international or the regional, I should say, conversations to what's going on within Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago. And that has to do with the relationship between the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister. That has come under a lot of attention. It's been under the microscope quite a bit this past year, with the majority of voices saying that the adversarial relationship is unacceptable and should not be. What is your take, just looking back on all that has happened throughout the year, all that has been said on both sides? How do you feel coming down to the end of 2023, going into 2024, about our relationship between the THA now and the central government?
Well, I feel a bit apprehensive. As you quite rightly say, I mean, the relationship has not been good. It's not only unacceptable, it's downright counterproductive. If you're going to have the two people sort of trading insults, and it doesn't help Tobago at all. If, for instance, we're talking about autonomy and internal self-government, why would you want to offend the person who was head of government is best placed to help you get this autonomy, if he so wished, if the government so wished. I'm not at all convinced that this government, like governments before, really want to give Tobago internal self-government. They talk about it, but I'm not sure that their political heart.
But why is it that it seems as though we're so, at least central government is, so quietly opposed to giving Tobago...
It's a question of control. It's a question of control, as usual, with the politicians, the question of control. If you one day were to get the 1980 draft law on the establishment of the thing, after the statement made in Parliament in early 77 by the late A.N.R. Robinson that Tobago should have internal self-government. And the Prime Minister at the time, Eric Williams, set up okay, fine, we'll talk about it, and so on, and they then instructed an attorney, Lionel Simongal, to draft something, draft a bill on this question of internal self-government. What you should try to get is the bill and the comments made by the government on the bill, on each section of the bill. And you will see very clearly that there was no intention on the part of the government to give to Tobago or to grant to Tobago the internal self-government that Robinson was talking about. None. And when the actual act came out, when it was passed in Parliament, if you look at the THA Act of 1980, you will see that Tobago has a number of functions, and I think it's section 21 of the Act, but the THA is to carry out in Tobago, this is down in black and white, is to carry out in Tobago government policy in relation to, and then a whole long list of things. So the idea was to control. Manning made that clear when he was Prime Minister as well. And the current administration is not any very different from this. If you look at the report of the Joint Select Committee on the talks that were held a couple of years ago on this issue of internal self-government, you will see that the mentality is that control must remain with Parliament and so on. So if there is to be any serious internal self-government, then one has to approach the thing differently, not in a confrontational way. And here is where your question becomes relevant. If you're going to be cussing out one another in public,
essentially,
then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And this is something that has puzzled me as to why people on this side in Tobago make some of these comments about the people in Port of Spain. You call them this and you call them that and so on, etc. This is annoying the people in Port of Spain, but this is very people that you want to go to or have to go to
get what you want.
To get what you want. Yeah. So what are you offending them for?
So then how should we handle this relationship? And how should, let me say, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine and his Executive Council handle that relationship in a place where the political ideologies are a little bit different at this point in time? Port of Spain has one political ideology, Tobago has one, the THA has another. how should they be able to work together?
They have
How should they treat that situation?
Just like with the Argyle meeting, you sit down and talk. You need a facilitator, if you like. I'm not offering myself.
I was just about to ask.
You need a facilitator, not a mediator. Facilitator. Say, well, look, you go to each side and say, well, look, I mean, can we sort of try to get a basis for a serious conversation? And then you meet and have a conversation. You have to talk. Like in life generally, you have to talk. You can't just go confronting and say, I am bigger and more powerful than you, because that generally doesn't lead anywhere. You have to talk, sit down and talk. And for that, you need a facilitator. Maybe we should bring in Ralph Gonzalez, I don't know. And see what can be done about it. What are the things? One aspect of the confusion is the current THA Act, the 1996 Act, setting up the modern THA, which I have always regarded as one of the most awkward pieces of legislation and confusing pieces of legislation that one could think of. The particular reference, they have something called the Fifth Schedule, and they have areas of responsibility for the Assembly. One of the areas, for instance, is air transportation. Does this mean that Tobago is responsible for Caribbean Airlines?
Well, it doesn't seem so, because we had a discussion and it's clearly, well, of course, it said that central government
Yes, of course, it's central
is the one that controls that.
So
and there's no jurisdiction for the THA.
That's right. You are one of the another area is licensing. Licensing of what? Just licensing. Just mark licensing. Full stop. Licensing of what? Of cars? Of vehicles? Of rum shops? Licensing of what? The thing is vague and confusing, and has led to no end of confusion. Because the THA people say, well, we are entitled to this because it's on the Fifth Schedule. And then the government points to one of the sections of the Act saying, yes, but all this is subject to
Section 75.
Yes, subject to Section 75, which is the Cabinet.
Yes.
So all we do is go around in circles. If you have to talk, and we have to talk sensibly. We have to go sitting down and talking, look, this is the situation, we would like such and such. Maybe you might disagree, but let us talk about such and such and see what kind of arrangement we can make, what kind of conclusion we can come to with regard to the thing. Otherwise, we will just continue going round and round in circles.
Now, you made an interesting point a little bit earlier in the sense that maybe now is the time to bring somebody from outside, and you suggested Dr. Ralph Gonzalez from St. Vincent as somebody to mediate. Should we really consider
Not to mediate, to facilitate.
But to facilitate. I mean, should this be our position right now? Like, should we really? Because it's.
I think we have the wit to sit down. I don't know that we really need a facilitator. If we really are serious about arriving at some kind of conclusion, we can sit down and talk among ourselves. But it is a question, remember, of the basic mindset. Who wants what, basically? If Tobago wants the international government has been put forward by, say, Troy Charles or by Robinson before him, or by Orville London when he was there, or by Farley Augustine, and the central government says, well, you talk about independence, aren't you? I mean, you're not really wanting international government, you want independence. And Tobago says, no, we don't want independence, we just want to be able to run our own show up to a certain point. We know that we can't run foreign affairs or anything like this. But where certain aspects of internal affairs are concerned, I mean, we would like to be able to have our own say and make our own decisions for Tobago. There are overlapping things like the transportation thing, for instance, because you have sea transportation, air transportation. We can sit down and do this, but if we come with the mindset that on one side, I am not going to give you this, and on the other side, you better give me this, or else, we're not going to arrive at any conclusion. We're going to be like the Venezuelans,
and Guyanese.
Maybe in 21, 24, we might still be talking about how we arrive at internal self-government. We have to sit down in a serious way, and which we have not been doing because we've been too emotional in this aspect. Emotion is always a dangerous thing when you come to discussions at this kind of level. If you're going to involve your emotions and say, Tobago used to have this and we are entitled to that and so on, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to sit down and say, well, this is the situation, this is what we would like, this is how we would like to get it, and so on. We have our position, so we sit down with the central government and say, can we talk now?
Now, I just want to ask you this, because this has come up quite a bit as people have been viewing and just taking in all that's been happening between the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister. Do you think that immaturity in politics, in governance, is at play here for Tobago? Because that has come forward, where people say, well, maybe Mr. Augustine was not so ready for this role. Maybe he needed a little bit more experience to be able to handle this in a more diplomatic manner.
Yes, I think that a certain political immaturity has been involved, because otherwise certain statements would not have been made. When you refer to the Prime Minister as worse than Satan, I mean, that is, you just don't do that kind of thing. When you say, I'm going to dig up his navel string in Mason Hall and take it to Trinidad and give it to him and say, here. So, this is not helpful to the cause of discussion and negotiation. Because what you are doing is offending the other side. If you say that somebody told you that the Prime Minister gave you so much money in order to subvert the THA, and you say this without any evidence whatsoever, you are not helping yourself, you are not helping Tobago. And this kind of language is intemperate, counterproductive, and damages any forward motion that we could make on this issue of internal government and autonomy.
That's an interesting point. Well, viewers, we're going to take a quick break and we'll continue when we come back with Mr. Reginald Dumas as we just discuss a lot of things that are within our space, so don't go anywhere.
60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our conversations this morning with former head of the public service, Mr. Reginald Dumas, as we discuss what's been happening here in Tobago and, just seeing ways in which we can, how should we understand what's going on. And specifically for this segment, we are dealing with improving Tobago's public service. And of course, Mr. Dumas is a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience in terms of dealing with the public service. And a lot of the problems that we're experiencing here in Tobago has to deal with what's going on within the public service itself. How do our workers, our public servants do their daily tasks? So, and we seem to be talking about this for quite some time. We're always complaining, for instance, and it's affecting so many of our people's lives. Many people are waiting on things like pensions and gratuities, and they can't get those things because somebody has the file in a desk drawer, in a cupboard collecting dust, while these poor people are waiting and waiting and waiting on their what's due to them. So, and these are just one of the small things that are wrong with the public service. And how do we fix it?
Good question. The issue of pensions, by the way, and non-payment of pensions and gratuities is not peculiar to Tobago. That has been going on for many, many, many years. What happens is, in the old days when you didn't have computers and so on, everything was done by hand. They lose the files. Not deliberately. They just can't find the file. So a person is in Ministry A and is transferred to Ministry B. The file should follow the person to Ministry B, but the file stays in Ministry A. And then after a time, someone says, but this person not working here. So what is the file doing here? And they might even throw the file away. So when this person is ready to go and as he retires and wants his or her gratuity and pension, there are gaps. I was among those who were lucky from this point of view because I worked only in the Ministry of External, then subsequently Foreign Affairs. Well, external, because when I left it was still external. So that the file can be found, it was the same ministry. But other people have no end of trouble and have to wait years. This is not right. Have to wait for years to get pension and gratuity. They have no money. They have to go and do odd jobs outside and it's kind of humiliating. The public service as a whole has been declining for quite a while. I regret to say, even when I was head of the public service, I did notice, I could see the decline. And it was not only at the level of the lower people, lower administrators or clerical people or something, you were seeing it at the level of permanent secretary. Sorry. I remember one permanent secretary that I had to call in because I came to realize, was going to his minister. He wanted to ingratiate himself with the minister. And so he was going to the minister and telling him he was entitled to all kinds of benefits that the minister was not entitled to. This is the permanent secretary, or he was acting permanent secretary at the time. He wanted to become a permanent secretary. So he felt the minister would nominate him, recommend him for the post of permanent secretary. And this came to my notice, and I summoned him. I said, what in God's name are you doing? In fact, I remember having to go, or going, to the Prime Minister, Robinson at the time, and saying, look, I'm sorry to say this, but this fellow in Ministry X has been misleading your minister. So if the minister comes to you and says that he's entitled to this and entitled to that, just tell him he's not. Now, this ought not to have happened. But it was all part of the decline. People started playing games. And the politicians were now backward in helping them play games, especially political games. You know, if you do so and so, then you never know what could happen, etc., etc. And so there has been a decline. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The people I had as mentors would say to the minister, if the minister wanted to do something that was clearly not in conformity with the rules or the regulations or the law, would say, I'm sorry, minister, you can't do that. If the minister insists, no, I have to do that, you say, okay. The law says, you give me that instruction in writing. At that point, the minister backs off because he knows that he's doing the wrong thing. But what he does is go and tell his other colleagues, you see, that permanent secretary I have there, boy, fella is the worst thing. And destroys the reputation of the permanent secretary. Now, where Tobago is concerned, when this new administration came in, I was asked to meet with the administrators and also asked to meet with the new members of the Executive Council. I met twice, I think, with the members of the Executive Council, and I met with the administrators as well. I think this was in February of last year, 22. Now, you can't deal with everything in one session. It's not possible, or two sessions. And I do recall saying that I would like to meet with the people again in, say, 3 months' time to see how things are going and see what changes need to be made, what modifications, etc., etc. And I was never invited back. So I said, okay.
So we're basically just continuing going around in circles.
Yeah, I would still be happy to meet with the administrators, but I have not been invited, and I'm not going to invite myself, clearly, to talk about how a public servant ought to behave and how he ought not to behave as well.
And how you should hold the politicians to account.
And hold the politicians to account. You have to work with the politician. I quite understand if the politician gives an instruction that is within the law, whether you agree with the instruction or not. you must carry it out. Too often, however, the instructions are outside the ambit of the law, and they expect you to carry it out. And that is wrong.
Well, and that's, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave our discussions here this morning. But of course, Mr. Dumas, you always have quite a lot to share, and your knowledge and your experience, your wisdom is very invaluable to us, and we certainly appreciate you being on here this morning and giving us your perspective on so many matters.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, viewers, yes, thank you again for joining us, and it was a pleasure. But stay tuned, because at 10 o'clock we've got brunch coming up for you. And of course, if you want to find out more about some of the things that are happening within our space, we've got a newscast at 6:30 this evening, so you're going to want to look out for that. So have a safe and wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.